gosh, it's really happening. Whoa, it's really happening.
What's happening?
Well, this is a very special episode of the world's greatest action sports podcast because starting off, to start us off, this is not Todd Richards, ladies and gentlemen. That's Taylor Knox.
I'm not as good looking as Todd.
You're
or as funny.
But you're pretty good looking. Not as funny.
No,
I'll give Todd that. So as you can see, this is our second episode here on YouTube, and of course you can tune in with your ears to the standard Monday M.A.S.S. Monday M.A.S.S podcast.
It's Monday M.A.S.S.
Monday Action Sports Show. So this is a special episode for many reasons.
Okay.
Of course, Taylor's here.
All I need
which
is
makes
one,
it special.
not many.
But also, we got a new sponsor, which is part of the reason why you're here.
Oh.
Check it out. NanoCraft CBD. See?
Yep.
I look at it. We got
That's
all
good.
kinds of things here from NanoCraft.
I do it
And so
every
this
day,
is cool
every night.
because Taylor, we've been on a couple same surf teams before, right? I think
Yeah,
we
pretty
both
much all
rode
of them.
for. Did you ride for Box at some point? Shoes.
I was. Well, I wouldn't say I was riding for Box,
Okay,
but I was
but
getting some Box
we
stuff.
both had shoes from
Audio.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
both had audio
Those were
shoes.
glory days. Yep.
And we've actually known each other for quite some time. And you've been on Coté's
Decades.
Cube multiple times,
True.
and now you're on the Monday M.A.S.S. So congratulations, you made it.
I feel like I
You
just went
finally
from the
made it.
WQS to the CT.
Yes, you've jumped up to the big leagues. Before we get into the show, let's talk about NanoCraft CBD. So, Taylor, as you know, I'm independently wealthy, right? I don't need sponsors to do my thing.
No, you are so wealthy.
I
It's
can pick
crazy.
and choose sponsors. So I tried NanoCraft CBD for the first time a couple weeks ago at Camp Shred in Cardiff by the Sea.
I saw
Loved
you
the
down
product.
there. You kind of shunned me.
I did shun you because I was busy
Okay.
talking to NanoCraft, talking business.
I know. Hurt my feelings a little bit. Yeah, I understand.
So I said, this is a product that I can get behind. And I immediately hit them up for free stuff, first and foremost.
Okay,
and
yeah.
then I thought, let's expand this a little bit. Let's get NanoCraft to sponsor the Monday M.A.S.S. They were hyped. And then I learned that they have an incredible snowboarding team and an awesome surf team, including Sheldon Paishon, Shell Doggy Door, Mason Ho, and you, Taylor Knox.
Yeah, I'm pretty honored to be on it, actually.
Yes. And so now we're teammates. Let's just kind of do an overview here before we talk about NanoCraft specifically. CBDs, something that I've believed in for a long time. I've spread the good word about CBDs for the last few years. And a lot of people ask me, I'm sure they ask you, okay, so what do CBDs do? What do they do for you? And what do they not do? Because I have a lot of people that are scared, like, oh, I don't want to feel weird. I don't want to hit CBDs, but what do they do for you, Taylor Knox?
Well, in the morning, I like to have the day one to kind of wake up. It has a little mint in it. I know it's a really good anti-inflammatory. That's
Right.
I'd say one of the main reasons that I'm taking it, and I like it. I also believe that plant is a pretty magical plant. It's got a lot of good properties. I mean,
The hemp plant.
The hemp plant, yeah.
Because you're not a stoner, right? You're not a stoner. And I'm again, a lot of people, when you hear the word CBD, you're like, oh, that's pot.
Right.
It's absolutely not.
Yeah.
This is stuff that I give to my mom, my neighbors, my friends and family, and they ask me, what's up with CBDs? And they kind of like whisper it. And you're like, yo, it's not a secret. It's totally a legitimate, I call it anti-anxiety, anti-inflammatory, and it helps you sleep.
Right.
Those three things I think everybody that I know need.
Yeah. Who doesn't need a little help to fall asleep at night when you've had a long day and you're just, your mind's rushing around and you're thinking about tomorrow and, someone cut you off in traffic and you're still mad about that.
Yeah.
No, but it's I just think we haven't even tapped into maybe what this plant can do. You know what I mean, and people do talk in hushed tones, which they don't really need to anymore because
look at this, is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, you could drink this entire bottle and you won't get stoned.
Right.
And
that's a big misnomer that people think about when they think of CBDs. So back to this product, the NanoCraft. This is we're gonna have the guys who created this product here on the podcast in a couple weeks to really dive into the science, because you and I, we're not scientists.
We're not. No.
We are just enthusiasts of this stuff. So NanoCraft, and if you're not on the team, Taylor and I, you can actually go to nanocraftcbd.com for 15% off. You hit M.A.S.S 15 in the checkout aisle. Yeah, the digital checkout aisle.
Yeah, and they've got different. They've got the day, the night. They've got full spectrum that goes from 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. That I use the roll stick a lot.
This one,
yep, almost every day at night.
So give me an example. Like you work out and you sore shoulders, whatever.
Yeah, maybe the waves have been pumping for the last couple few days, and you feeling a little sore in your neck or in your shoulders, you can rub that on it. Or if you have a knee that gets inflamed once in a while, that'd be a good place to put it.
I get it right here.
Yep.
I'm skating and I go like that.
You and I have this same exact spot where we put it.
Yeah. Yeah. Outer knee.
Yeah. Outside knee. It seems to be a common thread within the surf community.
Yeah.
Also low back and neck and that kind of thing. And it feels good. It heats up a little bit. It soaks. Your skin is like the largest organ, so it's soaking in.
Your largest organ.
Okay, drum roll.
Anyway, yes. So we're going to talk more about NanoCraft CBD when we get to Surf News, because they're actually presenting Surf News as well. We're going to get into that in just a moment. I have to talk about some of our other sponsors. We have a lot of great sponsors, and here's one of them. This is another one. Active Skin Repair. Boom. Have you ever used that?
I have, and I have some. Luckily enough, Taylor Steele was able to flow a couple.
Yeah, Taylor Steele is the creative director.
He flowed me a couple, and my son is doing a lot of training down in, he's in the Navy, and he's coming home with like holes in his body and stuff, and he likes this stuff. He said it's working good.
So this is actually the perfect companion. So this is for muscle soreness, and this is for when you slam. So like you just said, my kids are not in the military yet. They're only 7 and 10, but they eat shit on a constant daily basis. So this is one of the most used products in my house.
I will not go to some tropical place, without having a bottle of that in my bag. I think,
fin cuts, reef cuts.
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny too, because it's not as, so when you cut yourself, let's say you're in Tahiti, you cut yourself on the reef, you got to get that Instagram video of you squeezing the lime on yourself, but it hurts and it doesn't work as good. But here's the thing. This is not as badass, because this actually feels good. So not a lot of people are filming themselves put this on, because this is actually one of those soothing things. And that would be like one of those videos where you just go, and you put on there, you go, that feels better.
Yeah,
that's not as exciting as people screaming.
Fun. People only want to watch other people in pain.
Yeah, so this is what people use
viewership.
Behind the scenes when they get cut in the tropics. Active Skin Repair, longtime sponsor. Ride List is another one, at ride_list. This is where people sell surfboards, snowboards, skateboards, gear. Our friend Eddie Wall turned us on to Ride List, and I've actually got some surfboards on Ride List now. So go to Ride List, search for my name. You can
buy his products.
Buy my surfboards. Buy my surfboards. And with that, those are our sponsors, our presenting sponsors. We have more sponsors.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as being a billionaire like you are, these sponsors, you're doing them a favor.
We can pick and choose our sponsors. Nobody dictates who sponsors this podcast. So that leads us now to a special edition of Surf News with Chris Coté and Taylor Knox. Todd Richards is on his way. He's dealing with some serious issues. He's got to return an Audi that was loaned to him. So that's why he's late. That's his excuse for being late to work today.
I've never had that excuse.
I got to return an Audi. I got to return this Audi.
Maybe they're scared to give me one. I don't know.
Well,
it could be.
I've never seen you drive.
There's some big puddles around here. I'd go through them.
There are some burly.
Test that car.
So yeah, Todd just drove this insane Audi, which he's going to definitely talk about, because that's what he likes to talk about. Again, Surf News is brought to you by NanoCraft CBD, best CBD products I've used. I can't speak for you, but I'm sure you like them because you represent them.
Yes, I'm agreeing with you 100%. They are the best CBD products that I've had. But
we only use the best.
Yeah.
And remember, go to nanocraftcbd.com, enter the code M.A.S.S 15, you get 15% off, and follow them on Instagram because you're going to want to see, I mean, the more Mason Ho, the better. And you can see more Mason Ho on
the world can't
Instagram.
have enough Mason, I think, in their lives. I mean, Mason could put the GoPro on himself and just people would sign in, pay millions,
right?
Even billions, maybe.
Fully agree. There's a lot of room here for contest talk since we're getting into contest season. Taylor Knox, you were one of the greatest to ever do it on the championship tour. You're still one of the greatest to ever do it in life in general and in surfing.
I'm hoping my wife says that.
She does. Yeah.
Good.
So, like I said, the QS is off and running, and I got a whole tie-in here. This is going to blow your mind. You know Gavin Gillette.
Yes.
You're a Gavin Gillette fan like myself?
Yes.
Okay. Gavin Gillette just won the Air Tahiti Rangiroa Pro, a QS 1000.
Nice.
On this board.
Oh, wow. Here, let me get out of your way.
Yeah, this is a Tomo / Slater Designs sci-fi, and I get to ride this board today.
You might win a contest today on that board.
Well,
I'm thinking the Seaside Pro.
I might go win my own heat with just myself. So have you ever I know you ride Chris Borst boards.
Yep.
But have you ever tried Slater Design?
I got to ride one for about 10 minutes and I swapped out with Chewy Reyna, and it was this model, I believe.
The sci-fi. Yeah.
And Tomo's a great surfer, he's a great shaper, he's innovative, so
Slater's
and Slater's okay, he's won a couple contests in his career, which is nice.
Thank you for helping with that.
A lot of charity events for him, but
yes. And he's back.
Yeah, he's back.
We're going to talk about that. So as it stands right now, like I said, congrats to Gavin Gillette, won a QS 1000 at the Air Tahiti Rangiroa contest. And it's when you think Tahiti in your mind, you're thinking big, scary, burying lefts. The contest that Gavin won was in like head high, rippable rights. And to me, Tahiti is an underrated place for the normal surfer, the average surfer, to go on a surf trip, because everybody thinks Chopo.
Right.
There are a lot of fun waves in Tahiti. And when you watch this event, you'll see that this is a wave that you're probably going to want to surf, especially if you're regular foot and you like rippable little rights. Which brings us to the QS. When the QS started its Australia leg, big news was Kelly Slater was going to be in the first QS of the year.
Which is rare.
Did not do it.
Oh.
It did not.
Pulled out.
Yeah, and then, so now we're wondering, that was big news. Kelly Slater's on the QS. But now the Newcastle Surf Fest has just started. No Kelly Slater so far. I know you're homies with Kelly. This is potentially his second to last, or third to last year on the championship tour.
He's not going to be on tour in 5 years. I can say you that.
Okay, yeah. So how old is Kelly now?
He just had a birthday, so he's 47.
47.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has stated that this could potentially be his last year. Like I said, we almost saw him on the QS. So that brings us to this QS year. Do you watch QS events still? Do you tune in and watch the 3,000, 6,000s, 10,000s at all? Well, are you informed on these contests?
I'm not very informed, but I will watch if it's someone that I like to watch surfing.
Okay.
Say Connor Coffin's in it, or one of the Gdauskas brothers,
right?
Or Griffin. Like, I'm a big fan. Obviously, I'm a little biased in California guys. And then there's, there's other, like Italo, just incredible, mind-blowing guy to watch in any conditions, stuff like that. So I will tune in, but not as much as a CT, because
you're not as geeked out on it as I am.
No, I'm not as geeked out as it, but
you can listen to this show and get all the news you need.
I see you out in the water for 5 seconds, and I feel like,
oh, that's your QS.
Yeah,
that's a QS reverse 2000. It's like under. It's amateur level.
You and your brother Justin get pretty heated in the water.
We try.
Yeah.
So the QS is off and running right now as it stands. Jadson Andres in the lead. Yago Dor in second. Cam Richards third. But it's still super early. Only a couple events on the line. But the big leagues is coming. How many years were you on the championship tour?
20, I think.
20 years.
Yeah.
Is that a record?
It was until Mr. Slater
keeps going.
Yeah. Now that he's beaten the record, I want him I say go to 60.
Yeah.
You know, just don't stop.
Surf till 60.
Just tell everyone you're going to retire every year, but don't do it.
Okay.
Which is what he's been doing anyway. So, just continue on.
Maybe we'll see him in a QS. Definitely going to see him in this championship tour event that's coming up. Snapper Rocks, men's and women's, to start the year. It's just a couple weeks away. I know you watch CT events. These things come up. Snapper Rocks, obviously, this is probably, I would say, one of the favorite events of the year, because this is a wave that most of us can relate to. A long, rippable right-hander on its day. One of the best point breaks in the world on its day if it does what Superbank, aka Snapper Rocks, does. So let's get into it. So I know you just said you like to watch Italo Ferreira, but let's talk about the championship tour this year. We got some underachieving Californians that we can talk about a little bit. But then, of course, we've got Slater. We've got the Brazilians. We've got the rookies coming up. Who are you excited to see in the championship tour event?
Well,
number one.
I'm excited that John's coming back.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of his talent and just the guy he is, and he's humble but he goes out and just does these craziest things. And I know that he's, after talking to Ross Williams a little bit, he's warming up, he's maybe not at 100, but he's, his 80 could beat most.
Yeah.
And, a lot will probably depend on waves and swell. And I don't know what's going to go on down there with that, but the greatest thing about Snapper is like, oh, the sand's not good. I'll just turn on the machine 24 hours later.
Pump
the sand's
some sand.
perfect. Yeah, pump some sand.
It's like nature's wave pool.
And then Italo's, to me, really exciting because watching him surf I just couldn't figure it out at first. It was like watching a snowboarder. And then, but for what, he just makes it work.
Yeah.
I know, he's just
so fun to watch.
So fun, and he's fast, and he's powerful, and he just kind of does different lines. And as a goofy footer on tour, you don't see I miss not seeing Bobby surf on tour.
Right.
There's different lines you would draw on the wave where some guys are, they're kind of looking a little bit too much like each other.
Yeah.
But it's good to see guys that come on and have a different feel
and
look to it. And I'm excited to watch Griffin
Colapinto.
Yeah.
That's a great person to bring up. I feel like Griffin started last year as we expected, blitzing people, and then mid-year just went down, but did enough to get himself back on tour. And I think Griffin's going to be top 3 this year.
Yeah.
Is that too big a call?
No, I don't think it's too big a call for his talent. Definitely not. I think there's going to be, top 3 is hard. There's a lot of guys that are vying for that,
Gabriel Medina, Felipe, Italo, John, Julian Wilson, Kolohe Andino.
Yep.
So
Chloe's always fired up as well, and I heard he's surfing exceptionally good.
He seems like he had that kind of sophomore slump, but I feel like, again, this could be the year for Kolohe Andino. I think, to me, this is going to be the San Clemente season. Griffin Colapinto and Kolohe Andino, right there, those two guys representing San Clemente on the championship tour. Then, of course, you have 20 dudes coming up via the QS.
Right.
And it's going to be the San Clemente Storm within the next 2 years, easy.
Yeah, they definitely have a hotbed of talent for sure.
The Gudauskas brothers. I mean, you have so many younger surfers too coming up via San Clemente. But back to the championship tour. Who's your top 3 for 2019 at the end of the year? Coming in the pipeline, who's going to be the top 3 according to you, Taylor Knox?
I'm going to go with John, Italo, and probably Medina.
Okay, good call. Do you want mine?
Yeah, I do want yours.
Okay, I'm going to force my way in there. I'm going to go with John, Griffin, and Italo.
Oh,
I know I left one name out there.
Yeah, we share 2 of the names.
We share 2 of them. I mean, Gabriel is so gnarly.
Yeah,
but it's almost like a given. Like you have to, you have to put that name in the top 3.
You just have to. I mean, the guy he doesn't fall.
No.
And all 3 of those guys make the most ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
Like when you think of X Factor, who's got the X Factor? Those guys have got the super X Factor.
Yeah.
A lot of guys, I mean, Julian definitely has an X Factor, and he's amazing in airs as well. And, there's a couple other guys we could throw in. Chloe's amazing at airs, and they're close. We're talking about like 1.0 to 1.5.
Yeah. But Gabriel's just almost, when he is on, like we saw him turn on the last 3 events, he's almost unbeatable. I mean, what he did at Pipeline
Yeah.
is that was so he's already really good at surfing, but then somehow he becomes untouchable in terms of the waves that he's able to get.
And he's not out there every day.
Ultimate magnet.
You know, surfing in super crowded conditions and battling out there. Surfs just a lot out there in his heats.
Yeah. And I saw a little sneaky thing on Parallel Seas, which is John Florence's production company's Instagram, or was it Ross Williams's Instagram? Either way, John doing his research, watching Gabriel grind in small waves.
Wow.
Did you ever go to obviously it's easier to go to the tape now because of Instagram and all that, but did you ever go to the tape before events and try to, like, let's say you're going up against Slater, Machado, or you know, maybe somebody you hadn't surfed against a lot. Did you ever watch tape on them?
Never.
Try to decode their strengths and weaknesses?
Never. I never did. I mean, if I watched tapes, it was usually a rewind of Tom Kern.
Right.
You know,
that was your research.
Yeah, that was my research. I'm like, well, he hasn't been on tour in a very long time. I'm still watching and surfing.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I mean, we were so immersed and we were always hanging out with each other. So every session was with one of those guys, Dorian or Rob or Kelly or Ross. So I didn't have to go far to see him surf.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It was a daily occurrence.
It was a daily occurrence. I think sometimes you can go home. If you go home and you get back on the computer, which we didn't have back then, and you start analyzing again, there's a certain time in the day where you just got to step away from it.
Yeah. Go do something else.
Yeah, you got to
go do something else.
Of surfing. It can't be a 24-hour thing.
This is kind of cool. Part of your crew, the Momentum Generation, Pat O'Connell, is now the commissioner.
He is.
So that obviously that's a job that you know well from being on tour for so long and from, you know, big wave stuff to CT stuff. Maybe give us some insight on that job itself. A lot of people just think WSL commissioner. They just go, we're going. We're not going. But what is that job? And what do you think Pat is going to achieve as WSL commissioner?
I think it's just a fresh pair of eyes. I mean, obviously, Kieran Pro, super smart and did so much for surfing. And he was probably ready for just a change like Pat was. You know, Pat obviously was ready for a change. And he's seeing some things in surfing. I'm sure that he's like, you know, I do it a little differently. I do it that way. And just bring in some fresh energy into the whole thing. I think it's good. I think it's good for everyone. I think he's up for the challenge. He's going to have everyone wearing Birkenstocks in the office. People's feet are going to feel a lot better. And and in the winter he'll probably wear shorts and Ugg boots. Yeah, but he's gonna be a style setter for sure.
Style setter.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see.
I don't envy his job though.
That is the most thankless job ever.
I know.
If the waves are good and you say it's on, nobody's gonna say, "Hey, good call, thank you."
Yeah.
But until that person loses, and they're gonna go, "What are you doing?
Oh, man.
Why'd you call it on?"
If I would have wrote that in my contract. If I had to be commissioner, I do not want to make the call for the contest. I just don't.
That is a gnarly job, but you know, I think Pat has that agreeable nature, and you know, we'll see.
I mean, he can smooth most seas.
He smooths most seas.
Yeah.
What else do we got here? Oh, okay, so this is kind of interesting. Vlog life. We're waiting for the Taylor Knox vlog to drop, but while we wait, we've got vlogs from Jamie O'Brien, the Coffin Brothers, Koa Rothman, Ben Gravy, Nathan Florence, and now Jack Freestone and Alana Blanchard and Banks Freestone Blanchard. Or Banks Blanchard, their kid Banks.
Oh, okay.
They have a family vlog. Do you watch vlogs? Do you know what vlogs is? You vlog.
I'm not sure
vlog yourself on a daily basis.
No, I've never vlogged. I don't know what a vlog is.
Video blog.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm vlogless.
So that's something brand new that we're going to see is the Jack and Alana and Baby Banks video blog.
Which you told me before this started that only watch you and you only.
Thank you for only watching that. So this is kind of a new thing that we're seeing come up. There's hardly any surf magazines left to be in.
That makes me mad.
Websites are falling off the map. So this is a byproduct of that, but also this is one of the reasons why we don't have surf magazines anymore is because surfers have taken it upon themselves to make their own content, distribute their own content. In the form of vlogs and Instagram. You said you're mad about, we still have Surfer Magazine for now.
Yeah.
We just had some severe cuts to Action Sports Media to get into later, but oh look, I mean, I have this right here.
I know. I was
Yeah.
looking at this, and
this is what a surf magazine is, folks, kids.
it's tangible.
Yeah, this is
I can
a
hold
thing.
it,
It's paper.
You know what I mean?
I mean, this has probably been in someone's bathroom for like 15 years. So we're going to use hand sanitizer after that.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
So you're a surf magazine guy.
Yeah.
You love surf magazine, like the page that we have got Surfer's Journal. We still have Surfer Magazine for now, for hopefully forever. But what are you going to do when there's no more paper?
Surfing in itself is in a transitional period. I feel like the last couple of years, and trying to figure out what worth you put on, followers and stories and
what's your bonus going to be for Instagram followers?
I mean,
I'm sure you have that now. I mean, you still get paid to surf, right?
Right.
And are your sponsors riding your ass? Like, post something, post a turn.
I'm lucky. My sponsor Reef is pretty chill about that.
Right.
They're not on top of me at all. They're just, they just know that I know how to do my job, and they just go, yep, he's gonna do the right thing most of the time. But it's interesting because I feel like the dust hasn't settled. We've lost Surfing Magazine, Trans World. Obviously, it was a while. I mean, just
been dead for a minute.
Yeah, it's just like this stuff. It shouldn't be going away. There was too much history, and it meant too much to so many people. But
we still got this.
Yeah, we still got magazine and O-Cider.
If you want some,
the
paper
Carlsbad mag, I don't know. I still like picking up something and looking at it.
Yeah.
I mean, like it feels easier on the eyes.
Right.
Looking at the blue screen, right?
Yeah.
Feel a little bit easier physically on the eyes, but it's just the way we're going, and I really hope we can
killed the magazine. And I can't say anything because
we're all on it. We're all doing it.
I'm the editor-in-chief of NCS Magazine, but other than that, you'd be hard pressed to find a magazine in my house.
Wow.
So I can't say that that's why I didn't post anything like on the death of these magazines, because I didn't do anything to help.
Right.
I didn't subscribe. I didn't put ads in magazines. So it's a good talking point because it's our fault.
Right.
It's all of our fault.
And I guess
as surfers and viewers,
I guess it's environmentally better because we're not chopping trees down, and so it's just a change.
Yeah. But if you're out there watching, listening, and you don't want Surfer Magazine or the Surfer's Journal to cease to exist, subscribe.
Yeah.
Buy a magazine at a newsstand. I don't even know where you buy magazines anymore. At the airport.
Man, you're really digging yourself in a hole.
I know. Sorry. No, it's great. We love magazines, so keep them alive. But vlogs are cool too. Vlogs are cool. I'm gonna watch the Jack and Alana vlog. Little Diddy.
I'm just watching Banks. I don't care about Jack and Alana. Now
he's gonna be a rad kid. There's other contest news. Nell Scott Reef is in Oregon, and it's a super scary way. I have no business even talking about it because I would never go there. It's way out there. It's freezing. It's super scary. There was a contest there. JoJo Roper won the men's division. Emmy Erickson won the women's division. This is kind of a grassroots big wave event for just men and women that want to go out there and paddle in a giant wave. What is Nell Scott Reef? What is this wave like?
I've never surfed it. I've never been.
But you're the type of person that would surf it.
It does look like a fun wave. It looks like a really fun wave, and I'm so stoked for JoJo. I mean, talk about someone who's just been like charging. You know, for a couple years now, going everywhere, being on the spot, and the guy works hard. You know, he works.
He's a badass.
He comes home and he's humble and he works hard and he saves his money and he goes on trips and, he always puts his best foot forward. So it's awesome, especially since
5 minutes, Todd Richards. Sorry. You're talking about JoJo.
Yeah, I was just talking about how, I surf with JoJo quite a bit, in San Diego sometimes. And, it's really cool to see him because he's a guy that you'd root for because he's easy to root for. There's some guys on tour that are just easy to root for, and other guys you're kind of like, I don't care. But JoJo's one of those guys that's like, I'm so stoked to see him get a win under his belt on this tour because he deserves it. I feel like I hope he gets, a good couple more years out there to show people that, he's been putting his head down. And
big wave surfers like JoJo don't have very many opportunities to shine. So it's rad that people put on events like this, the Nell Scott Reef contest, which you can check out on Facebook. It's so funny because you can tell it's grassroots. It's super hardcore because the results were just written on a piece of paper with a photograph of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty epic, and the waves looked huge and super scary, like I said.
And Emmy,
Emmy Erickson.
Well
Gnarly.
done.
She's gnarly.
Charger too.
Yeah.
Like she charges harder than most men.
Oh,
yeah.
100 times harder than I would ever even think of charging. Speaking of charging, Big Wednesday was a what some people call the greatest Hollywood surf film ever made. We lost one of the stars of Big Wednesday, Jean-Michael Vincent. Did you know this? He just passed away a couple days ago.
But I mean, that name alone, what a great name.
Jean-Michael Vincent. Did I say Jean?
You said Jean.
I'm sorry.
Is he French?
He called himself JMV.
Oh.
And I've heard some mixed reactions about Jean-Michael Vincent. I've heard, well, obviously the legend. He's super rad, amazing surfer in his own right.
Really?
But a very eclectic man. He used to go cruise around Malibu and kind of just wreak havoc.
Really?
Which I don't endorse
wreaking havoc.
Certain havoc wreaking levels, but Jean-Michael Vincent did it his own way. Let's just say that.
Well, and he went out his own way, I guess, too. He's done here.
He did his time.
He dropped the mic and he
saw some things.
Yeah, he did some things. Hopefully he didn't hurt anyone along the way, but the movie itself,
it makes me want to watch. It's one of those reminders. I gotta watch Big Wednesday again for the 12th time.
Yeah, I would say up until recently, it was definitely the movie, and it still is, because you say Big Wednesday and
everybody knows.
Grandma knows what that is, and possibly a teenager still. I don't know, but I'm sure that they've heard two words.
I'm
Big
sure
Wednesday.
the hip kids in Malibu know about it.
There'll be a remake of this. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think it would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
a remake of Big Wednesday. I think you would have to get Alex Knost would have to be in it.
Okay.
As far as some, surfer. Who else? That's actually a really good question. I mean, in terms of Hollywood actors, I would think Viggo Mortensen would be good in that. I mean, I talk about Viggo Mortensen a lot on this podcast.
You like Viggo?
Yeah, huge fan. He would be good in that as maybe Jean-Michael Vincent's character.
Oh,
kind of like you would be good in it. You could be the masochist.
Great.
Taylor Knox as the masochist.
Yes, as long as I'm not a narcissist.
No, you are the masochist. Say Taylor, when you came in here, I'm not just doing this for product placement, I swear.
Well,
you were asking about these booties. And I just posted these on my Instagram this weekend. I've used these booties, So Light booties, kind of in some cool spots. Mind the pun. I used a pair of 6 mils in Iceland, and they were amazing with the 1 mil insert. But these are some I just got for California use, because I just talked to our friend Todd Richards this morning. He said the water is icy.
Really?
Yes.
God, I hate
it's icy again.
It teases you when it comes out of winter. There's like this couple
We're
weeks
not there yet.
Yeah, it's like, it's starting to warm up a little bit, but no.
This is like as cold as it gets. So back to these things. So these are basically, I think right now these are the best booties you can get. These are 3 mils right here. So here's what you do: is you get your kettle going, you pour boiling water into there, let it up to that line, you let it sit for 5 minutes.
A masochist would love that.
You pour the water out, flush of cold water, and they give you these little booties, and then you put your feet in there and you walk around your house.
Wow.
And then you've got custom booties.
Dance party.
Custom booties.
Can you break dance in those?
Easily.
Okay.
I was walking around my house in just these yesterday.
I remember Tyler giving me a pair to try about 4 or 5 years ago when he started. Just
get on them. Picture me in just these, Taylor. I'll wait.
Naked
just these. Those? Yeah.
I could picture you doing that and vacuuming.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. Well, Taylor Knox, thank you so much for joining us here on the Monday M.A.S.S. What do we got going on?
Well,
what's next for Taylor Knox? Not just today, but in the next couple of weeks. What do you got going?
I'm going to do another project this year for sure.
Video project.
Yeah, like
a vlog. You're a vlogger now.
I'm a vlogger.
You're killing surf magazines.
Usually mine are just like, they're up on the internet and they're short movies. And then
Taylor, nobody has VHS or DVD players anymore, so you have to put it on the internet.
Well, Taylor still just sold me all his high cameras for a really good deal.
That's actually, that could be something.
I mean, vintage. Everyone's into vintage
stuff.
Why not?
You'll shoot it in high 8 and release it on the digital platform. No, so what you're filming right now for?
I'm not filming for a project at the moment, but I have a couple things in the works that I can't really talk about right now, but they will be top secret. Sorry
about that.
If you're in a different tax bracket, maybe we'd have a conversation, but you know, you're way above me. So,
so we're going to, basically what you're saying is we're going to all get to see Taylor Knox surf footage in the near future.
In the future.
We just don't know exactly what form.
Right.
But we're going to see big hacks.
Hopefully, yeah.
540s.
You know what?
360s.
I do want to learn how to do errors. So I mean, I'm going to see if Griffin can teach me how to do an error.
Oh, I know what I was going to ask. So we've got, a lot of surfers who are kind of from your generation. Ross, you've got
Dorian.
These are guys that have been coaching surfers on the championship tour.
Yep.
Have you ever, or do you ever, get with guys like Griffin, get with guys like the Godowskis brothers, and work on stuff like that?
What?
Will you coach Todd Richards?
Oh my God!
I'm here.
I was thinking of doing a project where we try to get Todd Richards on the QS.
Okay.
I want to coach Todd Richards onto the CT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The UQS, the unqualified series.
That's the one. That's the one. It's a negative QS 2000.
It's gonna go from Grandview to Moonlight, and we're gonna run about.
You're already out of my wheelhouse.
We're gonna have run about 10 contests in
there.
between that space. You know, like every block we're gonna run a contest.
Let me grab a chair so I can get in on the podcast.
I was just gonna release him.
Oh yeah,
all right,
yeah.
It's catch and release. You know?
It's catch and release. Taylor Knox, Surf News, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just happy to be here.
Todd, did you want to ask Taylor anything before he leaves?
I mean, what do you do now?
What do I do?
You're gonna have to watch. You're gonna have to listen to the podcast.
I usually hide in the bushes and wait for a chance to talk to you at Panikin.
That's right.
But missed you this morning.
Wow.
You were dropping off a tricycle, and you said,
"Look at that!
Hi.
36 minutes. I just talked to Taylor Knox. You're 36 minutes late, but it's okay.
He'll be here in 5.
I know.